Mic checker. Chicka, chicka, chicka. It's not some, baby. Yeah, a one time, baby. What? For your mind, baby. Yeah, we gon' shine, baby. And what we do, we gon' grind, baby. Yeah. What? And this is another episode, of Swingers After Dark. And this is your host, Nasan, baby. Here we go. What's good, family? You know, I just want to say first and foremost, in the swinger lifestyle, you know, the veterans, the elders, everything starts with them. You dig? Everything starts with them because they're like the unofficial gatekeepers of the lifestyle. And if the veterans are fucked up, you know, if they're not on their square, if they're not leaders in their respective communities, in their respective groups, then, you know, the newbies are going to follow suit. You feel me? Because the elders, the veterans, the lifestyle veterans, OGs, they set the tone, they set the standard of the lifestyle in their region, in their area, so to speak. So when you see a bunch of, you know, veterans on some fuck shit, then the newbies are going to follow suit. Why? Because the veterans set the blueprint of how you should conduct yourself as a newbie. You feel me? Now, I say all that to say that, you know, what you see in these lifestyle groups on social media, that's not a microcosm of the swinger lifestyle. Because a lot of people say, well, you know, the lifestyle is a lot of drama. You know, yes, you're going to see some fuckery in the lifestyle as far as social media, as far as drama in groups. But that's not a representation of the swinger lifestyle as a whole. Because you have a lot of swingers and lifestylers who are not in these groups. They do not partake in these groups. They're like on the low, they're undercover, and they throw parties on a need-to-know basis, like private affairs, private parties. You know, they don't masquerade themselves online. You have a lot of swingers and lifestylers, they still believe in discretion. They still believe in, you don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what I am. You feel me? And, you know, I said all that to say, you know, what you see on social media is not the representation of the swinger lifestyle. And a lot of veterans, they participate in the fuck shit. They participate in the buffoonery. They participate in fuckery that has nothing to do with the lifestyle. Because how are you going to expect the newbies to respect you as a veteran when you still acting like you're in your second childhood on some high school shit? You feel me? Like, how do you expect the newbies to follow your lead when you're not leading by example? You're not leading by example. You're not being the change that you want to see. You feel me? Now, I see a lot of veterans, you know. I see a lot of veterans, you know, they engage in like the rumors and gossip, you know, want to expose people. And it's like, and half the time it's none of their business. Like a lot of veterans in the swing lifestyle on social media and in these groups, they participate in situations that have nothing to do with them, drama that has nothing to do with them. And I'm like, dude, stay in your lane. Like a lot of problems that you face are there because you don't mind your business and you don't know how to stay in your motherfucking lane. And that's why you have beef. That's why you have unnecessary enemies. And that's why you may get a pumpkin head upside your fucking head because, you know, you're sticking your nose in everybody's business. You're playing both sides of the fence and you're two-faced as fuck. And that's why you have drama, and that's why people do not respect you as a lifestyle veteran, because you're doing the same shit that the newbies may do. Like, how you gonna criticize the newbies when they're following your lead? How you gonna criticize the newbies when you're not leading by example, when you're not showing them the way through your ways and actions? You feel me? And it's like, you know, when you're a veteran, when you're a lifestyle veteran, you know, you have to conduct yourself a certain way. You have to set the standard. You feel me? You have to set the standard instead of instigating drama. On one hand, you want to be a diplomat. You want to be diplomatic. On another hand, you want to instigate the shit. It's like you're passive aggressive with your leadership. And I don't get it. I laugh when I see these people who want to follow others who have no leadership skills. It's like they just dramatified as the newbies who they claim are fucking up the lifestyle. It's not even the newbies. Not for nothing, a lot of the beef and the drama and the swinger lifestyle are between the group owners and the elders. I can't even call you an elder if you act immature and childish. You just an old motherfucker. Real talk. I don't say that to offend anybody. Fuck that. I don't care if you are offended. It is what it is. If the shoe fits, wear it. I'm just saying, you know, just because you have years in the lifestyle, that doesn't mean that I'm going to automatically respect you. Just because you have years, when you don't manifest wisdom, when you don't manifest maturity. You feel me? Because you got to realize that age doesn't equate to wisdom, just like perfect attendance makes somebody an A student. You feel me? Perfect attendance doesn't make anybody an A student. You have to put in the work. You have to show and prove that you have to show and prove your excellence. You feel me? Just like how you got to show and prove your wisdom. Just because you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, that doesn't mean I'm going to kiss the ring and bow down. Because you're an elder. And you know, you have a lot of people in the lifestyle, they talk about the drama, they talk about the bullshit, they talk about the, you know, the fights, this, that, and the third. But yet, you know, as soon as they get emotional, as soon as they get into a situation with somebody else, all that wisdom go out the fucking door and they get into some drama themselves. And instead of, you know, handling things diplomatically, in a diplomatic way, rather. Instead of being diplomatic, the first thing they want to do is go to social media, is go on Facebook and put somebody on blast instead of inboxing that person, talking it out first. You feel me? Talking it out first, or giving that person a phone call on some old school shit. But the first thing that people want to do, they want to put on a show because they want attention. They're attention whores. And a lot of veterans do that. And the newbies follow their lead. Because the newbies figure, well, if the veterans got status, and if the veterans are popular, and if the veterans are getting respect by putting people on blast, I should do the same too. That's how they're thinking. And you know, a lot of veterans, they want to talk this big shit about respect, about we should keep order in the lifestyle. But yo, as soon as you get into beef, you want to run to social media. You want to tell everybody about your beef. You want to post. You want to make all these posts, these subliminal posts, or these direct shots. When all you could have done is nipped it in the bud and call that person and squash it. Or pull that person to the side at a party and squash it. But you want to put on a show, a presentation. You feel me? You want to put on a show and a presentation just to make yourself feel big and bad. You feel me? Now, family, you could be an enlightening person. You could be a person of enlightenment, rather. You could be an intelligent person and savage too. You could be both. That's the duality of man, of humans. You could be savage, petty, and intelligent at the same time. But, you know, your petty side should be the final resort. Being on the defense should be the final resort. Or, excuse me, being on the offense should be the final resort. You feel me? That should be the final resort. Because I say that to say, you know, I don't condone violence, but sometimes you got to knock a motherfucker out just to get your point across and tell people that shit ain't sweet. You feel me? Sometimes you got to set an example that you're not to be fucked with. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to lay your pimp hand down. You got to lay your pimp hand strong, man. And sometimes you gotta slap the shit out of somebody. Sometimes you gotta cuss a motherfucker out. Or, you know, if that's not your personality, just leave them alone. And just ban them from your parties. Ban them from your groups. But, you know, if you wanna be savage as an elder, as a lifestyle veteran, then that should be a defense, not an offense. You should always be on the defense when you reach a certain age. You don't want to be a bully. You don't want to be a bully, and then when you get your ass beat, your whole gangster is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be on the offense. You feel me? When you always got to be on the defense, on the defensive end. And then you have to protect yourself, of course. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, you got to let shit slide. I'm not saying you got to let shit slide. I'm just saying, you know, you could check somebody without being petty, without being immature, without being childish. You know, diplomacy should be the first and foremost. And then if you can't get your point across by being diplomatic, then hey, all bets are off. You tried. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody want to be a knucklehead, you can either ignore them, ban them, or hey, you know, you could let them know how them hands be like. But I don't condone violence. Violence should be the last resort. I want to stress that. Violence should be the last resort. So I just want to say, you know, my vets, my veterans, you know, it's like y'all got to get y'all shit together because the newbies are watching. They seen you. And I'm not saying that people are perfect. I am not saying that we're perfect. As a veteran, I'm not saying you got to be perfect because as humans, we're imperfect rather. We're not perfect by nature. I'm just saying lead by example. That's what I'm saying. You can't talk shit about the lifestyle and then, you know, you're not practicing what you're preaching. You feel me? You're not practicing what you're preaching as a lifestyle veteran. You feel me? You got to hold yourself to a higher standard. And, you know, I just want to, you know, I just wanted to holler at the lifestyle veterans because you got to realize that, you know, you set the standard. You set the standard of how the lifestyle should be run. And first of all, yo, I just thought about something. How can I call you a vet when you haven't vetted anybody? How can I call you a lifestyle vet when you haven't vetted anybody? When you haven't put somebody on to the game? Or in other words, when you haven't, you know, taught somebody the do's and don'ts of the lifestyle. And that's another problem. A lot of people want this veteran title, but they're not vetting anybody. How can you be a vet without vetting anybody? How are you going to be a vet without manifesting that word? You haven't vetted anybody. You haven't, you know, introduced somebody in the lifestyle the right way. That's another thing. People just want the titles without putting in work. They think that just because they've been in the lifestyle for X amount of years that they're veterans. Get the fuck out of here. And on that note, this is another episode of Swingers After Dark. And this is your host, Nasun, baby. Check out my website at www.nasunblaze.com. That's www.nasunblaze.com. And check out my ebook, You, Me, Us, Them. The Swinger Manifesto. Get it, got it, good. It's on Nook, Kindle, iBooks, Google Play. Shoot me an email at swingerpodcast@gmail.com. That's swingerpodcast@gmail.com with any questions and or concerns that you may have that could be addressed on a future episode. Hit me up on Instagram at Nasun the Great. Hit me up at Snapchat, that's Nasun the Great. Hit me up at Twitter, that's Nasun1, that's the number 1. Hit me up on Tumblr, that's Nasun the Great. And hit me up on Facebook, that's Planet Nasun. And we gonna go out like this, man. So here we go. What? So here we go. One more again. So here we go. What? Yeah. And I'm out.